Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and I just want to say thank you so much for the response to the video that I made, why you shouldn't try to stop thinking about your twin flame. I'm actually really surprised that it took off the way that it did, but I'm happy that it did as well. Thank you so much for watching that one, and again, thank you for being here. My name is Mary, the Twin Flame Alchemist. For everybody who is an OG, welcome back. For all the new people, thank you for following. I'm happy to have you here. So, without further ado, I have a question from that video. I'll link it somewhere on this video here. But the question goes, right now my twin treats me as their best friend. They like spending time with me, but they have never expressed any sort of romantic interest and pretend we are friends. As we know, they are my mirror, so how can I internally address this issue? Thank you for this question. And I'm going to go ahead and answer, what is this mirroring to you? And how do you figure out what to do to solve the problem? Because the problem is what you say it is. Does that make sense? So I will explain how that works in a moment. But first, again, thank you for being here. Make sure if this information is helpful to you that you do an equal energy exchange. I put out free content like this to help the collective. If it resonates with you, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and share if you know of people who need help in this way. I would be happy to hear from you as well. So make sure you comment. I love your comments. I love reading every comment. If I can respond, I will. If there is a question, I will answer it if I feel that it will help the collective. Thank you guys so much for your support. All right, so let's get into it. What happens when your twin puts you in the friend zone? Oh, because you're supposed to. Now, this is all ego stuff, right? Okay, because so the only things that are true about the twin flame journey are, number one, you are the same soul frequency at creation. Number two, you share a consciousness. Number three, you share an energy body. So you're one closed energetic system. Those are the only three things that are true on the twin flame journey. However, each and every individual pair of twin flames have a different frequency, resonance, consciousness, energy. That's why this journey is so freaking cool, because there is no one size fits all anything. There are no rules or regulations. It's basically whatever is in your consciousness, whatever your soul's desire is, whatever your path is here as a spiritual being, it's going to be unique and different to every single person, which is what makes the journey so fun and fascinating. But there are no rules and there are no regulations. However, your twin is always mirroring you, okay? They're mirroring back to you in the physical, your inner world, aka how you see yourself and how you see yourself. Mainly when it's something that is negative or a block or some resistance, which in your case is you don't want to be put in the friend zone and your twin is not showing you any romantic interest. So you've got to go deeper there. You've got to go deeper there. What does that mean to you? And the thing is that if you take a bird's eye view of this journey from the soul level, which is 5D, as people like to call it, this is the part that's really going to bake your noodle. There are not two energies there. There is one energy there. There is like a cosmic egg. One single energy on the soul level. That's it. And that soul level energy doesn't care about friend zones or romantic relationships or any of the 3D trappings, the programming, the template, the I must have a relationship, I must be married, I must find love in this lifetime. The soul doesn't do any of that. The soul doesn't need any of that. It's not doing and it's not having that the soul is interested in. The soul is simply being. And what is the soul? being. The soul is being an aspect of God. You are, on a soul level, God, all that is. Source energy. Source energy is unconditional love, peace, bliss, abundance, joy, all of the most beautiful frequencies that you can ever experience in this human lifetime. And on a soul level, if you were to go all the way up to the bird's eye view of your soul level and look down at you and your twin flame, where you're currently you're still in your 3D ego mind, because you're seeing yourself as separate from your twin. You're seeing your twin's desires as separate from what you believe to be true or what you want. So it's like they are at odds with you. They are at odds with your desire, and they are not giving you your desire. That's separation consciousness, and it's okay. This is no fault of your own, because this journey is an ascension path. So at the beginning, you will start all the way down at the lowest level of consciousness, meaning you see yourself as separate from everything that you think you need. So what does the friend zone and the romantic relationship, from the ego perspective, what is that really saying that your ego is needing? Your ego is needing connection, but it doesn't know what connection is, right? It sees itself as separate from everything. So it's going to try to use getting a relationship with the physical form of the twin flame as a substitute for connection, love, vulnerability, understanding. This is all heart energy, right? It just wants love, but it doesn't know where the source of love is. It thinks the source of love is that physical form of the twin out there and being in a romantic relationship with it. And it won't be happy or feel loved until it feels it's gotten this external thing, which is the relationship with the twin. Now, this may trigger you if you're still in ego and in separation consciousness, and that's okay. I just want to make myself clear. I am not saying that you cannot have that, or that your soul does not want you to have that. And because your ego wants it, you should let go of the ever expecting to have it. That's not what I'm saying, but that is what your ego will tell you that I'm saying, because your ego is afraid of losing something that it might not have, might never get, or that it thinks it needs. That's your lower mind 3D perspective of the twin flame, quote unquote, relationship, or quote unquote connection. That the connection can be lost, or it can not ever be had. Does that make sense? So you're coming from a place of not having, or lacking, or not being, or not getting. However, if you rise all the way up to the soul level, your soul is looking down at your 3D body and your twin's 3D body and going, you already have all the things that you think you need, though. Not only do you already have it, you are it. So I'm sure if you've been in the journey for a while, you may have heard people say, oh, affirmation, I am affirmations. And then the I am affirmations are I am love. So what does that mean? I am love. That means you already are it on a soul level, and there's no thing that you can do on the outside to get it, because you already have it. It is part of your energy. It is who you are on a molecular level, from a soul perspective. On a spiritual level, you already are it. However, if you're still in the ego, you're not seeing yourself as that. this is where the whole running and chasing thing happens or originates from. It's because you're still in ego, you're still in your lower mind, your separate self, and you're saying to yourself, I need that thing out there to make me feel whole and complete. But if you were to raise your consciousness for just a little bit, say maybe do a little meditation where you feel your consciousness rising up to the level of your soul. And it's fun to do this where you see through your soul's eyes and look down upon yourself in the physical materialization of yourself. And then you can, of course, always imagine or see the twin flame, the physical form of the twin flame next to you from your soul level. And just realize that from the soul level, you're one. From the soul level, you already have the thing that you think you need. Now, because we live in a duality, in a polarity, and we're all living in the laws of the universe, the laws of the universe are always working whether we know they are or not. Once you come into inner union, meaning your masculine and feminine are one energy, your human self and your divine self are one now. Your past and your future are dissolved, and you get to 0 point where you're just in the present moment. And the present moment, the now moment, is in your heart space. So you bring all that energy into your heart space where there's unconditional love. And you are literally being the unconditional love that you already are. Then you realize that this friend zoning that your twin is doing to you, it's just your ego mind telling you that you're not what you already are, that you do not have what you think you need. So at the moment, your ego may be thinking you need a romantic relationship with your twin. And there's probably aspects of you, many layers of you that say that you're afraid to receive love, you're afraid to be intimate, you're afraid to be vulnerable, you're afraid to be in a loving, connected, sensual or sexual relationship with someone, especially yourself. The thing is that you're basically looking into a mirror when you're with your twin. And it's going to be different for every single pair, what the trigger is around sensuality or sexuality. But there is this ability that we have on the twin flame journey to have this beautiful, sacred sexuality where the two become one flesh in the physical. You already are one at a soul level, so you're already one. It's just you get the opportunity to be one with yourself in the physical with that other body out there. So for you, when the twin friend zones you, there may be some subconscious block that you have against divine physical union or against sacred sexuality, or feeling that you're not worthy or ready or lovable enough, or any of the litany of lists of things that you could say to yourself. So just take some time to realize that there's nothing wrong with you. The part of you that tells you there's something wrong with you is the ego. On a soul level, you are already in sacred union with your twin because you are your twin. There is no separation between you and the physical form of the twin flame. However, in the 3D, they will simply mirror back to you how you feel about yourself. So the journey is about releasing all of those beliefs that are not you, that are not who you truly are. And what I mean by you is not the ego you, not the small self you, which is your Name your job, the amount of money you make, the school you went to, the nationality, the race, the religion, the family, the experiences you've had in this lifetime, the things that you can identify as your unique self, but it's the small self because you're just in a temporary vehicle in this lifetime. But what you are really is your soul, and your soul is eternal, timeless. Your soul is infinite. Your soul is God. Your soul is an aspect of God. All that is. So it just depends on who you want to identify as. And so your twin is just showing you who you identify as on an ego level, that you're still identifying as someone who is possibly afraid to be in an intimate connection, or perhaps you are not seeing yourself as someone who can be loved in that way. Because I believe the blocks to physical union that we each have are going to be different. But none of these things are impossible or off limits because there are no rules. Who's making up the rules on the twin flame journey? Who gets to say how things will play out? And who is the one telling you you can or cannot have a thing? If you are an infinite soul and you are an aspect of God, isn't God able to do anything? Isn't God able to help you create anything because God created everything? So it just comes down to knowing who you are. Which part of yourself are you going to identify as? The limited small self that can't have things? Or the unlimited soul self who creates everything? So I hope this has helped. If this information was helpful to you and you got to stay this long, I say thank you. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you like it and also subscribe. And if you want to share it, that'd be super fantastic as well. I'm just letting you know this is a super nice sync for me. It's June 11th, 11/11 right now as I speak this. And I love talking to you guys. So make sure you leave a comment if you've experienced any of this stuff on your journey. I would love to read your comments. I may not be able to respond to all of them, but I do read everyone. And if you have a question, you can leave it below. But if you would like to work with me, all the links are in the description box below. You can book a private session with me. I am a clinical hypnotherapist and a quantum healer, QHHT for short. I also would invite you to join the mastermind, which is a wonderful group of people who are ready to leave the old self behind and create the life of their dreams, which, by the way, this journey is limitless and you can create just about whatever you want. I just teach you how to do it. I teach you how to transmute the energy that you are into your highest self. That's what we're here to do. Or if you want to take baby steps, you can join the free masterclass. It's the 12 myths and mistakes that you're making on the twin flame journey that are keeping you in separation. There are a lot of myths and mistakes out there that are creating a limiting journey for you. And I just want to make sure that you understand that you're limitless and you can create just about anything you want. As a matter of fact, you're already creating it. So everything in your 3D reality, you've already created and you've already signed off on. So just understand this is a consciousness journey and you are an infinite being. And I want you to know that. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.